More difficult circles questions. Now hopefully before you've watched this video you've already watched the video on how to find the circumference of a circle and how to find the area of a circle. And from those two videos you should be aware that to find the circumference of a circle there is two equations we can use. We can either use c equals pi times the diameter, or we can use the circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. And also from the area we should be aware that to find the area of a circle we know that area is equal to pi times the radius squared. And the two key words we use there are diameter and radius, where we should know that the diameter is the distance all the way across the circle, and that we also should be aware that the radius is the distance from the centre to the outside. And that if we double the radius we get the diameter, or if we half the diameter we get the radius. Now in this video we're going to look at a couple of examples of a more difficult situation involving circles. And both of these questions are exam questions. So it says calculate the area of a semicircle of radius 12 centimetres. Well, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, are we finding circumference or are we finding the area? Well, we're asked to find the area. And we only knew one equation to use when finding the area, and that is this bottom one. So we're going to use area equals pi r squared. Now we've identified that we're finding the area, we need to think, have we got a radius or a diameter? Well, we're told we have the radius of 12. So where the radius of r is, we're going to substitute in 12. So pi times 12 squared. And at this point you need to get a calculator, and you'll find that the answer to pi times 12 squared is equal to 452.389, etc. But we're not asked to find the area of a full circle, because that's what this equation gives us. What we're asked to find is the area of this semicircle. So what we need to do is we actually need to think, how is a semicircle related to a circle? Well, it's half of it. So we need to half our area to get the area of the semicircle. So the area is equal to the 452.389 divided by 2. And that gives us our area, which is going to be equal to 226.2 to one decimal place, and this is centimetres squared because we're looking at the area. So a semicircle is half of the circle. On this second question it says this logo is made up by using two semicircles, each with a radius of 6 centimetres. Work out the perimeter of the logo, give the units of your answer. Well, firstly we're asked to find the perimeter, which means the distance around the outside of this shape. Now you'll notice that this shape is made up of two semicircles which are exactly the same. And if we're going to find the distance around the outside of these semicircles, we need to know what the circumference of this bit of the semicircle is. So we need to now look at our equations to do with circumference. And we need to think, have we got the diameter or radius? Well, we're told we've got a radius of 6. So we're going to use this bottom equation, c equals 2 pi r. So we're going to use c equals 2 pi r. And we're told that the radius is 6 centimetres. So for one semicircle we're going to do c equals 2 times pi times 6, which is equal to 37.699, etc. Now, but we only want a semicircle rather than a whole circle. So we actually need to halve this value to find the circumference of just this part here. But this section here is also exactly the same length as this section. And if we could push these two semicircles together, you'll notice it will make a complete circle. A complete circle. And that means that actually we don't need to bother halving this circumference to get just a semicircle, because we need the whole part to make the complete circle. So we've got our circumference, the distance around this curved section. However, this isn't the final answer. We also need to include, to find the full perimeter around this shape, we need to add in these sections here. So what is the distance from here to here? Well, we know the distance from the edge to the middle is 6 centimetres on both sides, so the diameter here is 12 centimetres. And we've got two of these, so we've got 12 here and 12 here. So on our 37.699 that we've got for the entire distance around the curved section, we now need to add on 24. So the total total perimeter is equal to our 37.699 etc. add on 24. And if we do that on a calculator and give our answer to one decimal place, you get 61.7 centimetres, because we're looking at the perimeter, which is a distance. So whenever you're tackling a more difficult circles problem, it's really important to probably write down firstly the 3 equations that we know, and then to identify whether we're finding the area or the circumference. Because if we're finding the area, we've only got one equation we know. If we've got the circumference, then we know 2, but we then need to look at the question and think, have we got a diameter or a radius, to decide which of the 2 equations we're going to use.